Hey guys, welcome to a slightly offbeat topic here on G4G. So today we are wrapping around to once again talking about our semi-favorite company. And no, not EA, because I don't typically traffic in a lot of EA games lately, but we're going to talk about Actard, otherwise known as Activision Blizzard. So it seems Reddit is alive with the knowledge that a Hearthstone streamer, uh, Savages, we're going to call him Jane McConan, has been blacklisted from future events following statements made by his wife against Blizzard. Now, if you don't know who she is, you'll know in a second. Because once I saw the tweet in question, I know very much who this woman is. Because she stuck in my brain right from the moment that she made her comment. I never recorded the name in my head, but I recorded the sentiment. It stuck. So, Saviz, maybe if I'm getting the name right over here, or Jane, Jan, maybe Jan? Let's go with Jan McConan. That sounds like it'd be right. This is the reason that was given to me when I said I want to play at this event. My wife was part of the 800 layoffs from back in 2019, and she spoke up about the unjust practices of the company. I was told I'm a liability because of who I am married to. His wife has now been saying lately, I'm just going to put this out there because it's affecting my husband's mental health. Blizzard is currently blacklisting Jan from events because I spoke out against the company and offended a community manager by responding to their tweet with the "Are you fucking serious right now?" What a joke. I read this quote right here, literally from the A to the W. I read it and my knee-jerk reaction was, oh no, I know exactly who this is. And I checked because it was my girlfriend, Ori Kalkin, who highlighted this to me at dinner and gave me the link. Fortunately for me, she linked me right to the tweet in question, which saved me digging it up. But I knew exactly what it was when I saw this here. So Reddit is pretty much finna dragon Blizzard over this one. The terrible decisions made by people, blaming Blizzard's bad decisions on Activision. Okay, look. Blizzard and Activision at this point are so married, they're kissing cousins. I mean, this really is deep in the swamp genetic, no genetic diversity kissing cousins over here at this point, because the two of them have been in bed together since 2008. You forget that it's been since 2008 because that was the middle of Wrath of the Lich King, and Wrath of the Lich King was amazing. And Cataclysm was relatively good, at least in my opinion. A lot of people kind of dunk on Cataclysm. MoP, I don't like, but a lot of the community likes MoP. So Blizzard was still doing pretty well with World of Warcraft, and Hearthstone was still a few years out at that point. Here's the Storm and Overwatch. So you basically had the Warcrafts, the Starcraft, and World of Warcraft, and Blizzard was still riding the high of being considered a for-the-gamers kind of gaming company. Activision, meanwhile, had already kind of been shitting the bed at this point, so it took a long time for Activision's roots to get into the Blizzard side of it. But then that's probably when we saw things like Metzen leaving and Hearthstone's Brody leaving and all of that kind of stuff. They probably smelled the burning tire fire from a couple towns over, and the wind just one day wafted over a little bit, and I went, that's it. I'm out. I've unfortunately seen it perhaps with some staff at my most recently former company. They may have smelled a couple things coming and decided to bail, whereas I was winding up sticking it out to the end. But this comment over here makes me sad. Blizzard CEO Morhaime literally convinced Kotick to take the deal because they would be able to make money in China. This is back in 2007. Funnily enough, people had to convince Kotick to let go of his control over Activision so the merger could happen. There was a statement in here. Oh, there it is. Kotick is the devil himself. He was in Epstein's pedo black book. That sounds a little QAnon over there, but could definitely be true. They wanted to both get away from Vivendi. I mean, I like the Bungie story because of the irony of Microsoft turning out to be the good guy in the whole situation. The Hong Kong shit. This is the Hearthstone. That's Blitzchung right over there. Blizzard is not doing a good job in the last 365 days. You have the Hong Kong event with Blitzchung, which did not go the way the public wanted, but then they had the very reasonable stance on Black Lives Matter, which is going the way the community wanted, but it was too late. The community was already shitting all over Blizzard, and they didn't really take their BLM stands very positively, unlike a lot of other companies, because it's like, well, if you're standing here now saying BLM, and we're cool, we're siding with BLM, that just seems to be about the money, because you were anti-Blitzchung because you were afraid of losing the China money. Now you're BLM because you're afraid of losing the American money. And I mean, it is entirely possible that they learned from the Hong Kong situation and are erring more on what is the popular side of things over here. But unfortunately, it's still the money side of it, even if it is the popular side over here. U.S. senators, partisan, Democrats and Republicans, were coming down on Blizzard's handling of the Blitzchung situation. Imagine that. Imagine somebody like Nunes or the Texas guy in bed with Ocasio coming together against Blizzard. I mean, for a hot minute there, United States politics was unified against Blizzard. And it's ridiculous considering what's going on now in U.S. politics. So we have this centrifuge effect where the right is spun really far out, the left is spun really far out, and there's like nobody in the middle anymore. It's like, washing machines during the spin cycle. Everything's spun out to the edges. And this makes me sad because I love Overwatch. I literally have to play that game for several hours every 48 hours or so. Like, it's been a little bit... It's my FPS now. I'm back to a lot of my FPS roots, especially with World of Warcraft rating on hold until Shadowlands, because we've beaten everything we've wanted to beat. So I still go into World of Warcraft, and I work on my Hunter, which was my most recent 120, and he's doing LFRs and getting some gear without relying on the guild raids or anything like that. But I have an urge, an almost smoker's nicotine urge to play Overwatch on a given night, and I sort of hate it when I don't have the time to do it. Now, is that a function of Overwatch, or is it a function of wanting to play an FPS? Hard to say, but I do pick it over Doom Eternal. I am picking it over Borderlands 3 until the next DLC comes out, because the newest takedown event was bugged for so long where the mobs were way too healthy. I know it's been walked back, but it sounds like that new takedown event is not one that I would particularly enjoy. But I'm waiting for that bounty for blood. So there are some FPSs that I have access to that I'm still picking Overwatch over, because it's the only competitive one that I've got now. I'm not playing PvP in Doom or multiplayer in Doom, and I'm not doing it in Borderlands 3. Dirty Bomb I haven't touched in a while. Valorant, I may try, but Valorant is basically Overwatch bent Counter-Strike over the sink and had its way with it for 10 minutes or so. So yeah, I mean, I feel like I'm consuming cigarettes that I know are causing me cancer, and that sucks. Like, I really want to get into the Shadowlands alpha, but Blizzard is just failing so bad lately. It's like you're going to become the laughing stock if you're still a Blizzard fan pretty soon, or you like any of their their products. Um, Somebody here is saying Legends of Runeterra. Yeah, Riot Games. You don't really want to go to Riot to get away from Blizzard. Riot. Let's not forget that a couple of years back, the heads of Riot were like dick tapping each other, and extremely sexist. There was a very big glass ceiling for women at Riot Games. They had to have some massive diversity training over there. I mean, Riot was the classic bro squad going on over there. Some people saying MTG Arena, but then they're saying Magic is the most predatory tactics around. Even Magic is now getting dragged a little bit because they had Insight Prejudice as a card, and it has people who look like they could be representing the KKK wizards, so they're taking those cards down. So it's like, where's your outlet now? And, everybody's like, oh, CD Projekt Red, Cyberpunk, that's the one that'll save us. That's the great one. CD Projekt Red is good because they don't take no shit, and that's cool and all. They've remained largely resistant to massive SJW stuff, and they're not doing anything racist. Like, they're really good. People are happy to put their eggs in the CD Projekt Red basket. But let's not forget, CD Projekt Red had some major crunch issues, and it's like, where is the outlet anymore? Where is the company that could be the old Blizzard? The Blizzard who did Warcraft 3 and World of Warcraft up until Warlords of Draenor, I guess. I mean, but I didn't realize how deeply addicted I was to Overwatch. It took me months to finally stop playing it for good. This might be me. This guy basically bailed on Blizzard products when Blitzchung happened, and he's saying he was really addicted to it. I agree. And the thing is, I'm looking forward to Diablo 4. And I would watch another BlizzCon again, except we're not having one. And I'm looking forward to Overwatch 2. And I have buckets upon buckets of cards in Hearthstone that I haven't opened. I really feel like I'm backing the skeletal, emaciated horse over here and expecting him to win the race against prime-fed thoroughbreds and everything. But, so here is the tweet in question. I knew exactly what I was going to see the moment I clicked it. So, Chris Atlas, have love for Hearthstone, passionate about the community, want to work for Blizzard Entertainment? If you answered yes to the above, come join my team. And Jan's wife, I'm going to hope it's Jan, it looks like it should be Jan, said, are you fucking serious right now, Chris? I remember this when it happened, because it sticks with you because you know it's a shitty take from the company. If you're not reading between the lines here, I'll explain. If you're working for a company and say you started, alright, it's 2020, say you started in 2010. I don't think Hearthstone was around 2010, but let's, no, it was like 2013, 14, 15, somewhere in there. But okay, let's say it was around in 2010. Let's say you came on board early on to be a community manager for Hearthstone. And let's say this Christina started at $40,000 a year. Now, if you're living in California, that's a hovel. $40,000 a year in California money is basically a hovel with a bucket for you to piss in. But regardless, let's just say. So you start in 2010 at $40,000, and now in 2020, you're up at $65,000, simply due to cost of living raises over the years, and maybe bonus raises and good productivity raises, that kind of stuff like that. Good reviews. Your manager reviews you as mostly a lot of 4s on your reviews. 5s are considered, you're basically Jesus walking on water to get a 5 at a lot of businesses, but let's say she was pulling in, very rarely a 3, but mostly 4s, occasionally a 5, and she's got a lot of good raises, and now she is up at 65K 10 years later. That is probably very, very conservative. It's probably would be more like 70, especially adjusting for inflation, but 65K. And then Blizzard, under the guise of Activision, because they're the ones who pioneered a lot of this stuff, says we're going to show investors that we're making some pretty good profit, not by doing a profitable game, which apparently Call of Duty Mobile is. Call of Duty Mobile pulls in a lot more money than actual Blizzard PC products, which is disgustingly fucking sad to hear stuff like that. But, so you at the upper management of Actard say, we need to show these investors that we're making more of a profit. What's one of the ways you do it? You either increase revenue shares, and you increase your product placement, and you put out a really good WoW expansion, or you release a new scenario in Hearthstone that a lot of people buy, or whatever, or you reduce your operating costs. You move one of the two goalposts. Your left goalpost is the money in, and your right goalpost is the money out, pay. If you can't move the left one, or move it well enough, you take the right goalpost and you move it further and further out to the right by decreasing your operating costs. So they got rid of a lot of international call centers. I believe the hardest one hit was in France, or maybe Ireland, I think it was. And you get rid of people who've been doing their jobs so long that they're paid a lot of money, and then when you are axed, they turn around and rehire for your position and get somebody fresh off the street, and they're making that $40,000 a year again because they haven't had the 10 years of raises. So let's dive into the rest of her thread over there. Gonna give it to you straight. The job pays shit. Expectations and the amount of work are too high. The entire commercial department right now is a disaster. How can you post this in good faith? Honestly, if the job is so shit, why is everyone crying that Blizzard should rehire the previous people and beg for their job back? Kudos to Chris for not engaging in this drama. It's not like he fired everyone. He's just doing his job to rebuild the team. Best of luck. This is a shitty take over here. Everyone is crying that Blizzard should rehire the people because they saw them posting the jobs again. And it's like, that's a stain in everybody's eyes to watch Blizzard kill off a bunch of positions and then rehire them, because it's plain as day what they're trying to do. If you get rid of positions because you're reducing workforce because they're extraneous or they're redundant, that's fixing operating costs. And a lot of people say, well, that sucks, but what are you going to do about it? It's the nature of business. But when you kill off hardworking people, and then you rehire some dude from University of Irving right out of college who's wet behind the ears and works for $20,000 less than Christina was making, it's trash. I mean, I feel bad for my girlfriend who walked in, and any other coders, because this happens to coders a lot. The people get in, they do tremendous amount of coding and database work for years, and then they get termed, and then they hire people right out of college who don't know what crunch is, and they get blasted for 60-hour work weeks because they're essentially treated like a goddamn intern. I got a friend in Florida who is dealing with that with some EA companies and everything, and here she is back almost a year ago saying that she got blocked for it. And some people like, why did you just can one of your best CMs? So this is really disgusting to see Blizzard holding this poor dude accountable for what his wife said just about a year ago. And what she said is exactly right. It's not that it's an unfair thing of her stance on it over here, but Blizzard did hold a job fair for these folks when this all went down to help them find another home. Thanks for caring about it. I miss many of them deeply. Technically, you could still apply if you meet the other requirements. I don't have a degree in here. I said, ooh, that's a bad take. What happened back in February was awful. Where did she go? That was really strange. I lost her replies over there. There we go. Yeah, back to her. Blizzard's just shitting the bed right now. And instead of actually getting up and getting a new pair of sheets and sanitizing the old ones in an industrial strength washing machine over here and sanitizing that thing with bleach and 1,000-degree temperatures, they're literally frolicking in it. I'm getting more and more upset that I like so many of this company's products because I really do feel like I just keep backing. You know the horse in the second Ghost Rider movie when he meets up with one of the original Ghost Riders and the horse is in flames? It's basically like a skeleton. That's what we're backing. Is we're backing this skeletal horse that's on fire and we're expecting it to win a race. Like win show or place over here, and meanwhile poor flaming skeleton horse is taken 2 feet away from the starting gate and just collapsed on the ground on fire. That's Blizzard. Somebody make that an animated GIF for me, because that's what Blizzard's like lately with this bullshit. This poor Hearth streamer, man. I hope the community outcry is loud and super vocal and gets this guy justice, because this is disgusting. It's not disgusting what she did. It's disgusting that he's got the ramifications of a very truthful statement, and one that you would expect anybody to have. If I found out my former job, rehired somebody cheaper than me or some part-time guy for, my position or whatever, I would be massively up in arms, and I got people over there who would still tell me about it. So, Jesus Christ, Blizzard. Gotta give you a big fuck you for doing this. That's my take on the Blizzard situation with this poor Hearth streamer, guys. What are you thinking? Are you still playing Blizzard games, and are you beginning to feel like me that maybe it's time to start uninstalling some of them? Take care, everybody.